My name's Jade, and I thought I'd start a YouTube channel for no apparent reason. Because what other reason is there to do it? Anyway, so this is my first post. I thought I'd do my first video on something that I couldn't find on YouTube when I wanted it. So, I'm going to talk about QTS. Many of you may have applied to do a teaching course. I applied for a BA in primary education for 3 to 7 year olds, and I was really nervous about going to my interviews and stuff like that and couldn't find anything at all to help me on YouTube, really, apart from like actual teacher interviews, which were quite helpful actually, but not quite it. So, first of all, the interview stage. Now this could be quite a long video. I'm hoping it won't be too long, but because I don't want you to fall asleep on me. But anyway, I thought I'd just straighten the whole process out for everybody who doesn't get it and is looking for something like I was when I first started. So, first thing, your choices. Now, you want to make sure that when looking for a uni, you find courses that are right for you, because every single uni will teach a course differently. So the best things to do are Google which places do it, or go into UCAS and do their search if you're in England on the courses, and then find them online. The best thing to do is make sure you read the whole thing that they've written about their course, including like the course structure and modules, because if there are a lot of modules you don't like in it, it's very unlikely you're going to enjoy the course once you get there. Yeah, and once you've narrowed it down to your big 5, you will be invited to interviews for every single one, because if you're going to be a teacher, they want to make sure you're not going to bail out last second and then you're not a psychopath, and that this is actually what you want to do. So, when preparing for your interviews, well, first of all, make sure you go to all of them, because it's very, very important to see every uni that you're considering, so that you can get the feeling of what it's like and whether you're going to like it there, because it's like a specific feeling you can get of whether it's right for you or not. And if you don't get that feeling, I would say keep looking. Because I actually went to uni once before I decided to do this course, social science, and I chose university purely because it was really high in the leagues, like 3rd at the time, and probably still is. So I went there instead of the other place that I was thinking about going, which I preferred the idea of. And I ended up leaving, mostly because of illness, but I was really unhappy the whole time I was there. And the uni I'm going to now, when I got there on my interview day, it felt like home. It felt like where I was supposed to be. It was the feeling that I missed the whole first time. Anyway, so, cutting that out, let's go on. Yeah, interview process. So make sure you look around, scope it out, take a tour. See the city and not just the university, see what it has to offer. Your actual interview, you need to prepare yourself on some things. So make sure that you know how to clearly write, because they'll make you do a written task and interpret information. Well, that sounds stupid the way I say it, but you know what I mean. Just make sure you're very prepared mentally for what's going on. The way that the interview is set out is it will go in different orders, but you'll have a group task, you'll have an essay of some sort, and that's not a big one, just in time conditions they'll give you something to read and then you'll have to interpret it and write about it, and then you'll have an individual interview as well. And they are quite nerve-wracking, but nothing bad. You'll generally have a head teacher from a local school and then the admissions tutor in the room as well. And I'll ask you general questions about how you think you'll be as a teacher and different issues about how they affect you and things like that. Like your stances on them. There'll be indirect questions, sometimes they won't be that in your face, but as long as you truly have a passion for teaching, it's really easy to get through the interview, because you just need to show them that you love teaching and that you're going to be a good teacher, and then they will want you, and I'm sure they will. So yeah, and that's that part. The group interview, just make sure that you contribute equally, don't talk too much or too little, and make sure you get the task done. Actually, in my Brighton interview, I thought it was going quite badly, and then I, like the group interview, and in the end it was okay. So I guess even though it didn't feel it was going well, it did. So never get put down when things are going badly. It's basically the moral of that really long-winded story. Yeah. Okay, so if you get offered a place, which I'm sure you will, you'll have to choose two. One for firm, one for insurance. Your firm is the one that you'll go to if you get your grades, and the insurance is the one that you'll go to if you don't. Okay. There will be preconditions to you being accepted to your course other than your A-levels. Numero 1, your skills tests. You will have to do an English and a numeracy skills test. Now, maths has always been my weakest point. I had to do my GCSE twice to get it, which wasn't great, but I got there. And with the numeracy thing, I was completely freaking out. But fear no more. I have some solutions for you. Instead of freaking out, just take things step by step. It may seem like an obvious thing, but when you're scared about something, it's really easy to just freak out and not do it. Okay, I bought this book, which is a bit crinkled now, but wasn't. It's just because I have been using it. On eBay for like a tenner or something. You can get them second hand, which is what I did, which is why it has loads of squiggles in it, but no answers. Yeah. So read through that, especially on the bits that you don't get. The mental arithmetic, you will have only like not too long to answer. They'll read the questions and then you'll have like 16 seconds or something stupid like that to answer it afterwards. So you just need to stay calm. Do not freak out. Do not freak out. If you freak out, it's going to be difficult. But we're not going to do that, are we? We're just going to stay calm. We're going to breathe and we're going to get through it. Yes. So yeah. The easiest way to do it is to go and do some practice tests, which you can find online with the Skills Test agency thingy-majiggy bob. I'll put a link below. And go through the questions. Have post-it notes or a piece of paper with you and write down the things that you're not sure about, just the sums and stuff in the mental arithmetic, just jot it down. You can use the guide me, which is at the top of the page, which I didn't see till really late, which was stupid, and that will help you and show you how to do it all. And just work your way through everything. Make sure you make a note of everything you don't get. Then afterwards, YouTube. It's a very handy tip. If you Google each thing that you don't get, and you'll be able to get explanations of how to do it, and then if you just practice it, practice makes perfect, and then you'll be fine. So that's just the way to go with all that. Practice and don't get stressed. The key things are just your times tables. Learn your times tables. I knew my times tables, obviously. Everyone knows their times tables, but not very well. Like, I couldn't quickly recall them at all. I had to think about it really hard. So I spent a few weeks just focusing solely on those, like walking to work, chanting them to myself, like 6, 12, you know. Well, not 6 tables, but like 8. Anyway, and that really helped because you need to be able to like get your times tables like that in the mental arithmetic, or it's just impossible because you do not get a calculator. Hence mental. So yeah, and the rest of it you can do as long as you know the methods. Like, for example, conversion I didn't get very well, so I googled it and then YouTubed it and then practiced it. So that's that. As for the literacy, I would suggest, if you're someone who struggles with spelling or comprehension or anything, just the same kind of principles as the maths, like practice, with the spelling, rather than trying to learn all the words that are going to come up. You have no idea which words are going to come up, let's be honest. So the best thing to do is to learn the spelling rules, such as I before E except after C and all these other ones. And if you struggle with a word in like with words in particular during the test, try and spell them out phonetically, you know, like when you're initially learning to spell something. So like made. I don't know, that wouldn't come up, but like conversion or exchange, like EX. Change, like split them up into little things, or like alternatively, just imagine how to spell alternative and then add the "ly" at the end with the right spelling rules, and that'll be fine. As for the second part of that is punctuation. It will go spellings, punctuation, grammar and comprehension. The punctuation, you'll have to put 15 punctuation marks into a thing of text. So just read up on all the punctuation marks and what they do and when to use them. And then the grammar is just another one of those things that you have to practice, where how things should be put out in a sentence, laid out nicely to make sense. And then the comprehension, the most important thing is to read it slowly and carefully, jot down any key points, because the first few times I did it wrong, because I just read it really fast and then guessed the rest of it, which was really stupid of me. Not in the actual test, in the practice test, God, not in the actual test, but I did that. So just stay calm, read it, write down the key points, and then don't be afraid to look back through it. Take your time, you have plenty of time to do it, on both of them really, apart from the mental arithmetic, but you will get used to the timing of that. The thing with that one is just to be really, really like practice. Otherwise, you're going to struggle with the time. Yes, but you should be fine as long as you stay calm and that you practice the things that you know that you struggle with. I managed to pass first time on both in the end, which was really a huge relief. I walked out of the test centre with the envelope in my hands like, I'm not going to pass, and I gave them to someone else like, tell me what happened, and I passed. So that's a nice relief. And then I won £5 in scratch cards afterwards. Good day for Jade. So yeah, and that's that. And then you'll have to do a DBS check, where you just pay to get a criminal record bureau check, which is pretty simple. You just need to if you live near your university, you'll take your ID into the university and then they'll check it and you'll send it off to the DBS. If not, then you go to the post office and get a certification form off of them, an identification certification form, and you take photocopies of your ID in, and then they'll check it against the originals, sign them, and then you send them off to the address, which you will have in your emails. That can take up to 6 weeks to come back, and then you'll get it. Then you also have to do a health check, which is just a form that you write in and send back to the uni, and then they'll let you know what to do. And I'm pretty sure as long as you get your awesome grades, which I'm 100% sure you all will, because you're very, very smart and very, very capable, as long as you believe in yourselves, you will be on your teaching course. Yay! So really the key thing is just making sure that the place you're going is right for you. Just research, see, make sure, compare, take your time, there's no rush. You've got plenty of time from the beginning of applications to the end of them to choose where you want to be. And then just make sure with your tests and everything that you stay calm and that you practice what you're not good at. Well, not as good at, because you can be brilliant at anything if you set your mind to it. You just need to believe in yourself, basically. So yeah, I hope that was helpful to some people in some way, and coherent enough to hear, because I know I got a bit babbly at times, it's my tendency. And yeah, toodle pip. See you again, hopefully.